Okay, welcome back, students. Today we are going to be working with AutoCAD. CAD 140. This class requires us to learn Autodesk Inventor and learn AutoCAD 2. So lately we've been just working with Autodesk Inventor. Today we're going to work with AutoCAD. So go ahead and open up AutoCAD if you haven't already. And I'm going to share my screen because I have opened it up as well. All right, when you open up AutoCAD, your screen should look like this. So I'm hoping your screen looks like this. If it doesn't look like this, please take good notes, okay? And then we can discuss later what happened. All right, we're gonna start a new file here. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna play with all these icons up here today on the menu bar. I'm not going to require you to do an assignment with this. This is a participation grade. And for my students in CAD 140, you will receive a grade of 100 if you participate. Now, some of you still can't log in, so take good notes. That's participating too. All right. All right, so what I'm going to do is click on over here, go click on new. And when you click on new, your screen should look like this. In the class, in the face-to-face part of this class, raise your hand if your screen does not look like this. One more time, raise your hand if your screen does not look like this. That's good. That means it's working, okay? Now what I want to do, I'm going to work my way across the menu here, just showing you a variety of things today. There's more to it. It's funny. And Mr. Morris has been working with AutoCAD since 1992, long before y'all were even thought of, right? And I still, on occasion, will learn something that I didn't learn, since 1992. That's crazy, right? But it's because you get used to doing things a certain way. You kind of get set in a routine, right? The way you do things. Everybody has like a routine. So, which is okay. The way you do it might be different than the way somebody else does it. Okay? The way you do it might be different than the way somebody else does it. As long as you get the same result, it's fine. Some people will like to use the you can do a variety of things here. You can type in the command. You can go use the menu items. There's also pull-down menus. So you can type in, for example, go ahead and do this with me. Type in the word line, L-I-N-E, please, and hit enter. Now, what it says next, it says specify a first point. Well, right now, I don't care where you want to specify. Take your mouse and you can move it anywhere on your screen and click. And don't click anymore. When you click, you move your mouse around, you see that you have anchored a point on the screen, right? Everybody see that? There, we have anchored our first point. Now, notice when I move my mouse, it's asking for more input. It's asking for the length of the line, and it's also asking for the angle that the line makes for either the horizontal or the vertical. Right now, it's saying that it's mine, not yours, but mine is saying it's like 10 degrees from the horizontal. Well, I'm going to make this, I'm going to type in the number 5. All right. And I'm not going to enter. I just typed in the number 5 and I hit the tab key and I'm going to type in an angle of 0 and then I'm hitting my enter button. All right. Did you draw a horizontal line? Just raise your hand if you were successful in drawing a horizontal line. But we are still in that command. Now, what I could do at this point is hit escape a couple times, and I'm out of that command. There's your line. Congratulations. You drew your first line in AutoCAD. Now what I want to do is I want to erase that line. I want to erase it. There are several ways you can do this. You can actually type out the word erase if you want to and hit enter. And then it says next to select objects. Move your mouse over the line and click on it with the left mouse button and then enter. Does your line go away? Just raise your hand if it did. All right, let's do this again now. Let's repeat what we just did. Go up here to line. Click anywhere on the screen you want to. All right, we've anchored the line. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw something a little more sophisticated here. I'm going to type in the number 5, tab 0, enter. Now watch. I'm going to come down, straight down like this. I'm going to type in 5 again, and then I'm going to type in 90, or you can just accept the default. If the default is already 90, you can just hit enter. I'm going to enter here. All right. Now watch. I'm going to come over this way. I'll do 5. Enter. I'm going to go back up this way. Look, I'm going straight up. It's like follow the leader. The line is following the cursor. And I'm going to type in, let's see, maybe 10. Hit the tab key. And we're going to select 90, enter. Now watch, I'm making a left-hand turn here. Look, I want you to notice something though. Watch what happens as I make a left turn. I'm dragging my mouse. And look, if I come down here and touch off that endpoint and go straight up, look what it did. All right, but I'm not going to do, I could just go ahead and click here and do a right click enter. All right, I'm going to undo that. I'm going to do this again now. By the way, here's your undo arrow right here. If you mess up on something, you can hit undo. Or if you want to go back to where you were just at, hit redo. It brings it back. Now, I'm going to undo it because I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to go to line, and I'm going to click anywhere on the screen. And it's anchored, right? The line is anchored. I'll type in 5. Now it's already 0. Look, I don't have to hit the tab button here necessarily because my angle says it's 0 degrees. Now yours might not. So you might have to hit the tab button and put the angle in there. So I got 5 inches, 0 degrees, hit my enter button. I'm going to come down. Again, look, if your mouse is not real, if your mouse is nice and smooth like mine is, it's not moving all over the place. That's working for me. I don't even have to put in the angle because it says 90 degrees. I'm going to put in 5, enter. Look, the line is following the what? The cursor. Type in 5, enter. Now, if you're not sure about your angles, you can type in 5, tab, 90, enter. Come this way, type in 5, enter. We'll go up. Again, if you're not sure about your angle, type in 5, hit the tab button, type in 90, enter. Now, I know each one of these, I'm going to have to come back 15 this way, right? I'm going to type in 15. I like my angle of 180 degrees. If it's not, you can tab over and type in 180. Enter. Now watch, very important. I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to click right there on that endpoint. It will snap to it. It will snap to it and you will see a little green rectangle appear. When it does, hit the left mouse button and then do a right click, enter. How many, excuse me, how many of y'all got the T shape shown here? Not many hands going up. So, all right. So if you got the T, work with your neighbor. This is play day. I'm going to ask you an assignment for this, right? I'm not going to ask an assignment. But eventually you're going to have to prove to me your skills. So it's good to to pay attention. All right. Now, like I said, if you want to erase something here, type in the letter E. Remember last time we typed out the whole word erase. Just type in the letter E. Enter. And click on, let's click on this horizontal line here. Click on it. Enter. Guess what? That line is gone, right? Because each one of these lines are independent. They're all separate lines. Okay, they're all separate. Now, if I want to undo what I just did, click on this undo arrow. All right. So far, so good. All right. Now, we're going to erase this. I'll take a sip of my drink here for a second. Hang on. I'm going to erase this. I'm going to show you a different way now. Just click with your mouse, drag a window around it, click, hit your delete button on your keyboard. I'm going to undo this, show you one more time. Just, you can put your mouse arbitrary location, excuse me, but roughly around this area. So I'm going to click. I'm going to drag a window around my geometry. I'm going to click, and I'm going to hit the delete button on my keyboard. It's gone. I showed you 3 ways to delete something. You can type in the letter E. You can type in the word erase, or you can window around your geometry and hit delete. Hopefully you were successful in doing it. All right, so that's the line. You're going to be drawing lots of lines. That's usually the starting point. That's usually the most basic entity you start off with is drawing. That's why it's the first menu item here. The next menu you see is something called polyline. What does the prefix poly mean? It means many. And of course, many lines. So what we're going to do here, click on polyline. And it says to start your, specify your start point. Sorry, my allergies are acting up today. I'm going to click right here. And I'm just going to pick some arbitrary points. I'm not going to worry about the dimensions or the angles. You don't have to either. Just click some arbitrary points. I did a right-click enter. Now, what happens if you type in E, enter, and click on one of these lines? What happens? The whole thing goes away because it's one line. It's many lines, but it makes one entity. Poly means many lines, but it's one entity. So I'll do one more example here. I'll go back to line. You can just watch or you can participate. I'm going to draw quickly an arbitrary rectangle. It may not be perfect. That's not my point here. Now look, if I delete one line, it deletes one line. But if I use polyline and do the same thing, right-click enter, guess what? It's one entity now. Do you see the difference? I'm going to erase this. Notice that time I typed in the letter E and window around the object, where before I windowed around and hit the delete button. Okay. All right, now let's do this. Let's go back to, well, let's go to where it says circle. Go to circle. There are a variety of ways in which to make a circle. Today, we're going to focus on these two. Later on, in more advanced applications, we will use these. If you click on center radius, click on that. Go anywhere on your screen. I don't care where you want to go. Just go anywhere on your screen. Click. Now, what does it say to do? It says specify the radius of the circle. So now it wants the radius, not diameter, because the note says specify the radius of the circle. Well, I'll just type in 3 and enter. Well, if my radius is 3, what is my diameter? 6, right? So look here. Now I'm going to draw a circle, center diameter, click on center diameter, click on your screen anywhere you want, click. You're going to drag this out. This time I'm going to type in 6 because I use the diameter mode. I use diameter mode. One more time, let's undo this and draw a couple more circles. I'm going to hit the undo button and hit the undo button again. They're both gone. So I can hit undo. You have to be careful with undo though, because you don't want to, you may not want to undo everything. You may just want to undo the last thing you did. All right, so I'm going to go up here again, and I'm going to select circle, and I'm going to select center radius, and we're going to go on the screen, click anywhere you want, drag out your mouse outward. You're going to drag the mouse outward, not inward, but outward. And I'm going to enter a radius, maybe a 4 this time. Okay. Everybody has everybody drawn a circle? Yes? Okay. Guess I'm supposed to read your mind, but that's okay. I'm going to click here. Look, this time I'm going to click on the circle. Just click on it and hit the delete button. Now we're going to draw a circle again. Get a circle, go to center diameter, and we're going to click. And we're going to, now, this time, I'm not doing radius, I'm doing the diameter dimension, right? So the diameter is twice the radius. So I'm going to type in 8 this time, enter. Okay, so that's all we're going to work with today. Later on, we'll work with some more advanced applications with circle. I'm going to click on this circle, and I'm going to delete it. Now we're going to create something unique. We're going to create some geometry that looks like something, okay? I'm going to go to up here where it says rectangle, and I'm going to click on rectangle, and I'm going to click here. I anchored a point, and notice when I drag my rectangle, there are 2 dimensions when I drag it, right? There's one in blue, and the other one's kind of like in gray. So I'm going to make this 5, and then I'm going to hit my tab key and make the other one 3, and then I'm going to enter. I just made a 3x5 rectangle. One more time, I'm going to undo it. I'm going to go to rectangle, rectangle, click, drag it out. It's asking for 2 dimensions. Let's make it 6 this time and tab over and make it 4. Enter. Now that's a 6x4. Now what happens if I want to put a circle at every one of those intersections? So if we go to circle and let's choose center diameter, and I'm going to click on this intersection right here, and I'm going to drag out a rectangle. Let's make each one of these, I don't know, let's make them 1.5. Enter. Okay. We're going to do this again. We're doing it the hard way to get practice. Go to circle, center diameter, click on this corner right here, and we're going to make it 1.5. Enter. Now we're going to do it again. Each corner. Drag out the circle, type in 1.5, enter. And we're going to do it again. 1.5, enter. Now, we have 4 circles. They're all the same diameter, and each one of them is 1.5 inches in diameter. Okay? Now, Mr. Morris, what if I want to trim these lines out here? Okay? I'm going to show you an editing tool or a modified tool called trim. We're going to come back. We're not leaving the draw section. We're just, by the way, you can arrow down here and see all your different options for drawing. There's quite a few. Right here, you see like a pair of scissors. Click on the scissors. Now watch. By the way, if you rotate your scroll wheel, what happens? Just like an inventor, it's going to zoom in and zoom out. If you hold the scroll wheel down, you can pan, okay, just like with Inventor. So I selected the trim button, and I'm going to click here, 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 and here. I'm going to do a right click, enter. Do a right click and then select enter. How many of y'all were able to do that? By a show of hands. Okay, some of y'all are able to do it. Some of you are not. Okay, now I'm going to go to trim. And I'm going to trim out, look, this part of the circle. Enter. So hopefully your geometry looks like this here. Hopefully your geometry looks like this here. So at some point I'll come around and see your artwork today. So I hope you're drawing stuff. All right. So that's trim. I'm going to show you another modify command called move. If you want to move something, okay, right now I'm just panning, but I'm not moving the part because here is the origin here, and it's a certain distance from the origin, right? Well, let's say I actually want to physically move this. Go up here to the move button. See where it says move? Come down right about right here. It says select the objects. Click outside the object and drag a window around it. Click, then hit enter. All right. Now, once you do that, it has selected all of the geometry. We're going to take our cursor. Look what happens when we move our cursor. It snaps to certain points. I want to snap to this center. It's a little circle, green circle. Click right there, and I want you just to place it over here. Click. Hopefully you successfully moved it. Watch, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to hit the undo button right here. Undo will be your best friend. You might have to hit it a couple times. Now, if you go too far with undo, like Mr. Morris just did, just hit redo. All right. Watch. I'm going to pan, which holding my scroll wheel down, pan over. I'm going to go to move. I'm going to click, drag a window around it, click. I'm going to enter. Now, when I do that, I can snap to whatever points. You can snap to intersections here. You can snap to center points. I'm going to snap to this center point right here. Click. And then where do I want to put it at? Anywhere in space, possibly, or I could put it at another location. I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to undo it. It's going to take me back. Now, I'm going to draw a line. Go over here, select line, move your mouse over here somewhere. Let's just click an arbitrary line. Click or create an arbitrary line. And click here, do a right click, enter. All right, so I have this vertical line and I want to move this geometry so that the center of this arc will be at that endpoint right there. One more time. I want the center of this arc to be at that endpoint. So I'm going to go to move. I'm going to click, drag a window around it, click. I'm going to move and do a right click. I'm sorry. If you mess up like I just did, hit the escape key. Sometimes you mess up. Sorry about that. I'm going to go to move. Notice hit my escape key twice to get out of the mode. Click on move, click, click, enter. Now you can snap to, last time I forgot to hit enter. Now I can snap to a center point, click, and watch. I'm going to snap right to that endpoint. Click. I can't see all my geometry possibly. Mr. Morris, rotate your scroll wheel, pan. You can position it back where you want to. So now I move this object right to that endpoint. May, were you successful? Okay, that's good. All right. I'm going to click on this line and I'm going to delete it. All right, so we have learned about line, we have learned about polyline, we have learned about circle, center radius, and center diameter. I'm going to come back to arc eventually. We've learned rectangle. But what if you wanted to create a polygon? Poly is a prefix that means many, and gon means sides, many sides. All right. Do me a favor, just click on polygon for a minute. Click on polygon and click anywhere on your screen. It doesn't matter where. Click. Well, actually, before, let me hit the escape. I'm sorry, let me try this again. Hit the escape. Sometimes it doesn't take. I'm going to click on polygon, and it's asking me first, enter the number of sides I want. See, it says, you got to follow your menu, what it says to do. It says it wants 4, you want 5, you could be 6, not 56. Enter. Now specify the center of the polygon. That's when you click, and you can select inscribed or circumscribed about the circle. Just right now, just do inscribe, and we're going to drag this out. And you can specify a radius dimension of whatever. Okay. Now, if you hit the F8 key, it's going to, you'll learn to love the F8 key on your keyboard. It's going to make it either perfectly horizontal or perfectly vertical. I'm going to click because it's the ortho command. I'm going to click here. So you've created what? A hexagon. It's got 6 sides to it. One more time. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to go to polygon. And this time, the default is 4 sides. The default is 4. Let's say you wanted 12 sides. Say you wanted 12 sides. If I type in 12 here, enter, and then I click somewhere on the screen and just select inscribed in circle. And look, if you hit the F8 button, again, it turns on the ortho command. It's either perfectly horizontal or perfectly vertical. But that has 12 sides to it. Each one of those lines are equally spaced. That's how you would make a polygon. All right. So I'm going to click, drag a window around this, click, enter. Again, you can make a rectangle or a polygon. So what we've learned so far, we've learned line, we've learned polyline, we've learned circle, center radius, center diameter, and we have learned how to make a polygon. We've also learned how to move and how to trim. So let's go back and play with the some of the modified commands. What if I wanted to rotate this geometry here 90 degrees? Up here is the rotate button. Click on rotate. We're going to click, drag a window around it, click, enter. Now, let's we got to find a base point to rotate about. So we'll just go ahead and use the same center we used before. Click right here. And if you move your mouse in a circular fashion, you can see that it's rotating 90 degrees, right? So go ahead and just do that. Click and just click. So I rotated about that center. But I'm going to undo that. What if I want to rotate just 45 degrees? Not 90, but 45. So you click on rotate. It says down here on this white bar, select your objects. I'm going to click and I'm going to window around this geometry, click, and I'm going to enter. Now it wants me to see, it's telling me what to do down here at the bottom of your screen. Specify your base point. I'm going to click here at this center. Now it says specify your angle down here at the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to type in 90, or not 90, excuse me. I hit the backspace, 45. Now it's at a 45-degree angle. Watch, I'm going to do one more time. Undo it. Go to rotate. Window around it. Click. You're selecting your geometry. Click. Enter. Move your mouse near the center point. Click. Now we want to enter the angle. I'm going to enter 45. Enter. I've rotated 45 degrees. All right, so we've done move, and we've done rotate, and we've done trim. By the way, here's another erase feature here. See a little pencil eraser? If you click on that and click on an entity and hit enter, it's gone. So that's just another erase icon. Mr. Morris, why are we learning this? Because you're going to be making drawings using AutoCAD and Inventor, and the stuff that you draw, you're going to make in the shop. Okay. That's why we're learning this. I'm going to pan, give myself some room here. I'm going to show you how to do the copy button, or the copy menu item here. Select copy, click on it. I'm going to window, click, and I'm going to window around my geometry, click, enter. Now it says specify a base point. I'm going to choose that center again, click, and I'm going to click. Look, I'm going to move this, click, 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 enter. Okay, so I copied 3 more. All right. So that's how you copy. I can scroll in and out, zoom in or out with a scroll wheel. And when I go to erase, say I didn't want this one here, so you can just hit erase, enter. And by the way, you can window around what you want to erase, enter, and then you might have forgotten these two, click, delete, click, delete. There you go. I forgot to show you that too. You can type in E, enter, and you can just window around what you want to get rid of, enter. All right, that's how you erase. We've been working with that up to this point already. Now what I want to do is show you how to mirror something. All right, so this is the command mirror, and let's have some fun with this. So if we go here and we click on mirror, now down here at the bottom it says select the objects you want to mirror. I want you to click and window around all of this. Click. And then I want you to enter. Now it says specify the first point of the mirror line. Well, look, I'm going to click right here. And then it says specify the second point. I'm going to click right here, this center. And it says erase the original objects. No, I don't want, I could say yes, but no, I do not want to erase them. Hit enter. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go to mirror. I'm going to window around my geometry. Click, drag a window, click, enter. Now it says specify the first point of the mirror line. Well, I'm going to select this center here. Click. Now it wants to specify the second center line. Click. Do I want to erase the original? No. All right. I'm going to mirror one more time. Mirror. Click. Drag a window around it. Click. Enter. I'm going to click here, and I'm going to click here. Enter. All right. That's how you use the mirror. You may not do something that complicated, but the mirror function is a big help sometimes. You don't have to redraw something necessarily. So we've learned move, rotate, trim, copy, mirror. All right. I'm going to erase all of this. I'm going to type in the letter E, enter. I'm going to click, drag a rectangle around all of this, click, enter. Now I'm going to go back to my rectangle. You have to go where the polygon symbol is, click on rectangle, and I'm going to click a point and drag and put some dimensions in here. I'm going to put a 10 and then tab and put 5, enter. Just like we did earlier. I'm going to zoom in by rotating the scroll wheel. Now, you see how these are sharp points here? These are sharp points. What we want to do is we want to round those points. We want to round them off, okay? So we want it to be a fillet. Actually, the terminology fillet is a little misleading here, because when you talk about a fillet, you're talking about an internal rounded corner, okay? But when you're talking about external rounded corners, it's called a round, R-O-U-N-D. It's a rounded corner. So we're going to round these corners by using the fillet command. So select fillet, and it says down here, we need to give a radius for our fillet. So click on radius right here. And we're going to use a radius of 1 inch. Enter. Now watch. Click here, here, enter. Click here, here, enter. Click here, here, enter. Oops. Enter. Click here, here, enter. Enter again. All right, so now we have rounded corners. Sometimes when you're designing things, you don't want sharp corners, primarily for safety reasons. When people are handling your parts that you've designed, you don't want it, again, to be sharp corners. All right, I'm going to come by and look at some of your handiwork here. The last thing we do today, I'm going to come around and see what you've drawn, because I don't want people playing games in the class. Okay, I know y'all do it. Some people do it, and it's unethical to do that. Yes, sir. You're going to talk a little louder. Yes, I can. I'm going to undo it. I'm going to undo them. I'm going to go to fillet. And down here, you see this menu bar come up. Click on where it says radius. And it wants you to specify the fillet radius. I'm going to type in 1 and enter. And then I'm going to take my cursor and I'm going to go around. I'm going to select this line and this line, right? Enter, select this line and this line, enter, select this line, enter, select this line, enter. Did it work that time? Cool. All right. So we worked with move, rotate, trim, copy, mirror, fillet. I'm going to show you how to use the scale function. Okay, I'm going to show you how to use the scale function. But actually, before I do that, though, come over here where it says offset. Offset. Click on offset. Now, when you click on the menu item offset, what does that mean? You don't have to do it. Just watch me for a second. Let's say I want to offset this profile here inward some. Well, let's say I want to start off with my rounded corners, right? So I can type in a distance of, I don't know, maybe 0.5. Enter. Now watch. I'm going to go around and look what happens. If I move inward, I'm 5 inches, I'm 0.5 inches inward. Or if I move my mouse out, it's almost like making a frame. I'm 0.5 inches outward. So I click. Now, if I want to do it again, I can just hit the enter button and repeat this. Hit the enter button twice or 3 times. But I'm going to do it again. No panic. Go to offset. Down here, it says specify your offset distance. Well, maybe this time I'll make it 0.75. Enter. And I'm going to click on this profile, click, and I'm going to come in, click. I can click on this profile and go outward, click. That's called offset. So you're basically going to offset your profile. I can come over here now, go back to drawing a line. Go to line, click, and let's draw a line that's, I don't know, 5 inches long at a 0-degree angle. Enter. Enter again. Now, if I want to draw this, offset this line, click on offset. And now we want to specify the distance, type in 0.5, enter, click on this line, come down and click on this line. And you're just going to keep offsetting that line 0.5. Okay, so each one of those lines are 0.5 inches away from the previous line. That's the offset button or menu item, and it's very useful. I use it a lot when I'm drawing stuff. Okay. Let's talk about scale here. Say I want to scale this geometry down to a smaller scale. If I go to scale, click on it, and it says that select what objects you want to scale. I'm going to window around this geometry. Enter. Now it says, give me a base point. You can pick any point you want to, really. In this case, I'll just hover right here and select that center point right there off that arc. There's a center point. Click. And let's say I want to make it 0.5 distance. Enter. So that's half the scale from the previous design. I'm going to undo it. Hit the undo button here. And watch. I can actually type in the word scale. Can type in the word scale, enter. Now it wants me to select objects. I'm going to window around this geometry, enter. Enter again. Now specify a base point. I can specify whatever point I wish. I'm going to specify that center point, and I'm going to make it 0.75 this time, a little different. All right, so that's scale. So we've done move, we've done rotate, we've done trim, we've done erase, we've done copy, we've done mirror, we've done fillet. I'll show you explode here in just a minute. We've done scale, we've done offset. We're going to do array here. I'm going to type in E, enter, and I'm going to window around this. I'm going to zoom out. So it looks like this. Before I do that, I want to get a measurement. Over here is a ruler. See where it says measure? You can click on and do a quick measurement. And try that again. I meant to do a distance. Go to measure, click on distance. I'm going to click here and here. It says it's 8.6250. Mine is. I don't know what yours is. Mine's 8.6250 is my distance. Now what I want to do is I want to make an array of this, a rectangular array. If you arrow down, you can do a rectangular array. You can do a path array. You can do a polar array. I'm going to do a rectangular array with this one. Click on rectangular array. And down here, it says what to do. It says select objects. Well, I'm going to click and I'm going to drag a window around all this geometry. Click, and then I'm going to enter. All right, now I'm going to zoom out because I don't know what's going on here, really. Not yet. Look here. When I did this, it automatically did a default here of rows and columns. I need to change all this to what I want it to be. So columns, instead of 4, let's make the columns 10. The distance between going horizontally right now is 12.9375. Let's make that the distance between them 14. All right. Number of rows. We got 3 rows right now. Let's make it, I don't know, 10 rows. And the distance between, let's make 10. And I'm going to enter. And I'm going to zoom out. Look, I made an array. When I'm done with my array, I can simply just close it out. Okay, isn't that cool? Mr. Morris gets all excited about this CAD stuff. I've been doing it for a long, long time. All right. Any questions so far? Okay, I've been going pretty quickly here. Let me show you how to do a circular array. By the way, I'm going to erase all this. Type in E, enter, window around your geometry, enter. I'm going to go back to circle, and I'm going to select center radius, and I'm going to click anywhere on the screen, and I'm going to drag out a circle with a radius of 3. Like that. All right, so I have a circle. Now I'm going to draw a line. Get a line, and I'm going to start right here at the center. It's going to automatically snap to that center of the circle. Click, and I'm going to drag a line down. And let's say I'm going to make this 10. And then enter. And then enter again. That is 10. But if you're not sure, you can always check it with a measurement. So it's not. Apparently I did it twice. Oh yeah, there's the problem. I'm gonna click on that. I didn't think it looked like it was 10. It's 10 now. One more time, look. After I drew my circle, I came over here and I drew a line from the center and I went down 10. Enter, enter again. Now that's 10. We can go measure it. And you can see that it's 10 inches long, also gives the angle. By the way, that's not a dimension. That's not a dimension, that's a measurement. It's not, once I hit enter, the dimension goes away or the measurement goes away. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I want to array this, and I'm going to come around and look at your artwork. So I'm going to go to array, and I want to do what they call polar array, which is the same thing as circular array, polar array. But select polar array, and we're going to click, and we're going to drag a rectangle around all of this. Enter. Enter again. Now it says specify your center point of your array. Well, I'm going to select this endpoint. Now, notice by default, it says I have 6 items. What if I want to make it 8 items? Okay, you just go up here and select the number. I mean, I might be able to squeeze 9 in there. Let's see. I don't know if I'm going to get 10 in there or not. I think I'm going to have some overlap with 10. What do you think? Just barely. That's a circular array. Okay, it comes in handy. What if you were going to design a clock or gear? Okay. I'm going to close out the array, and I'm going to window around this, and I'm going to delete it. Actually, I'm going to take a breather here for a second and come around and see what you got. Okay. As long as you got geometry on the screen, I'm happy. Can you zoom in? Oh, you're doing some 3D stuff. Okay. All right. I see some geometry on your screen. For the most part, I'm happy. because this is just um, a fun day, if you will. We're just practicing. Okay, there's not, you're going to get a participation grade. I'm going to erase all this. By the way, if you want to erase everything on your screen, if you want to erase everything on, here, close it all the way. If you want to erase everything on your screen, type in E, enter, and then type in the word all. Enter. Enter again. Now, the danger of using erase all is going to erase every single thing on your screen. But you might want to get rid of everything on your screen, right? You may want to get rid of it. So, at any rate, that's another way to erase. So far today, we've learned line, polyline, circle, rectangle, polygon. We did move, copy, rotate, mirror, trim, fillet, erase. Okay, I'm going to show you explode. All right, go to rectangle here. Go to rectangle and draw just an ordinary rectangle. Click, and I don't care what your dimensions are. You could just click 2 points and you have a rectangle. If I go to erase this, type in E and just select one side only. Enter, enter again. You see it disappears, right? Watch one more time. If I type in E, enter, and click on the side, enter, it disappears, all of it. All right. What if you wanted to explode this rectangle into 4 separate lines, 4 separate entities? The way you would do this now, there's a little icon right here called explode. If you click on explode and you click on your object and then enter, it's been exploded. You know how I know? If I type in E, enter, and erase a line, look, enter. Each one of those lines are separate entities now. Each one of those lines are separate entities. Okay? That's very useful sometimes. All right. Now, let me put that line back. I'm going to hit undo. Some other things with lines I didn't show you earlier, I just thought of. If I go to line, and I want to draw a line from this point to this point, you just click here, come down here and click here, enter. Let's say you want to draw a line from this point to this point, enter. Now, watch this. If I want to draw a line from the midpoint, now, it's not snapping to the midpoint. All right, this is very important. You got to watch very carefully what I'm getting ready to do and do the same thing. I want my cursor to snap to the midpoint, but it won't do it. It's only snapping to the endpoints. It's not snapping to midpoint. Mr. Morris, how do I fix that? Type in this word. Type in O snap. O snap. OSNAP. Enter. When that comes up, you have some options. Look, right now I can snap to an endpoint of a line. I can snap to the center of a circle, and I can snap to an intersection. But what if I want to snap to a midpoint? Look, click on midpoint and then say OK. So OSNAP is the command. Now look, if I go to line, if I hover, look, there's that triangle. That's the midpoint. Look, come here, look. See this? Look. I'm snapping to the what? The midpoints. So that's how you can change what entity you want to snap to, okay? Okay, I'm gonna do a erase So type in E, enter, and I'm gonna type in all. You don't have to do all if you don't want, but I'm gonna type in all. All right, now what I want to do is I'm going to draw a line here, click, and I'm going to make this line, I don't know, let's say 10 inches long, enter, and enter again. So I'm going to zoom in. I have a line that's 10 inches long, right? Now let's say we want to divide this line. We want to divide it. Okay, so type in the word divide, enter, and I want to select this line right here. Select this line. It says how many, enter the number of segments you want to divide this line into. Type in 5, enter. All right, now you can barely see it. You can see these little dots here, but I'm going to show you how you can snap to those, they call nodal points. We divided the line into 5 entities. Look, if I erase this, look. You see the little dots? I'm gonna undo it because I don't want to get rid of my line. Now watch. I'm gonna go to snap, enter, and I'm gonna click on node. See where it says node? And I'm gonna select okie dokie, right? Now, if I go to line, look here. See that little X? It's going to snap to the what? To the nodes. So let's do that. I'm going to go to I'm going to start from left and work my way over. There's my first node, click. And I'm going to draw a line 1 inch, enter, enter again. I'm going to do it again, line. Now I'm going to go to the next one. Click, drag a line down, 1, enter, enter. Same thing. Same thing. Now, why did I just do this? Because I wanted to show you, remember I typed in the word divide earlier? I wanted to show you they have 5 equal segments here. This is segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, segment 4, segment 5. That's how you divide something, okay? It's very nice to know. Now, you don't always have to use window when you erase something. I'm going to show you how to erase something again here in a different way. Look, if I type in the letter E and then type in the letter F, it says specify a fence line. Look, click and just drag, click, enter, enter again. I just drew a line. It's called a fence line. I'm going to show you again. Look, undo, type in E for erase, enter, type in the letter F. See, you don't know that, but Mr. Morris been using it since like in the early 90s. So I know how some of these commands, they don't even include some of these commands now. You can type your commands, you can select your commands from a drop-down menu, a menu bar. Enter, it says specify a fence, first fence point. We're creating a fence. Click, come across, click, enter, enter again. Now they're gone. So you can just erase things by doing a cross. You're crossing over. Okay, now we want to do, I'm going to go back and I want to show you something kind of neat here. Type in E and I'm going to window around. Right here. We're going to first create a rectangle. And I want you to click, and let's make this rectangle 5, tab, 5, enter, enter again. All right. Now, I'm going to do a right-click enter to get out of that command. I did a right-click enter. One more time. I'll have to right-click enter to get you out of that command. Now, let's say we want to shade this or we want to hatch this with a pattern. This is pretty cool. If you've never seen this before, this is called hatch. Arrow down, and there's different options here. Click on hatch. When you click on hatch, if you look over here, you have, you can make it a solid. If you click here and click inside, look. I'm going to do it, show you again. Look, go to hatch, hatch. See, it says solid. Click inside here. Enter. You're done. It's solid. You painted it solid color. I'm going to undo that. Go back to hatch again. Go to hatch. Now, look, we got some other patterns here we can use. Let's say you're designing a brick home. Click on brick. Okay. Right click, enter. I'm going to undo that. Let's say you're a civil engineer and you want to work with concrete. Right here is concrete. Right here. ARCONC is concrete. Click inside. Now, Mr. Morris, that scale looks rather large. It is. How do I change the scale so it looks like smaller concrete particles? By the way, this is just a symbol in industry, a graphic symbol which represents concrete. It's the aggregate. You see little tiny particles, you see larger particles. Up here is the scale. Look. If we come here and just keep changing this, we can make it 0.25. Right there where it says scale, enter. Or let's make it even smaller. Let's make it 0.0625. Now that's concrete. Go to hatch again. Some hatch patterns mean, certain materials. ANSI 32, ANSI 31, these are certain materials. What if you want parquet? The scale's kind of big, so maybe we'll change the scale to 0.25. Or even better, 0.0625. What's that look like? A tile floor, doesn't it? Okay. I'm going to do that. I'm going to hatch. I just chose solid, but I want to use a gradient. Look here. If you want to use a gradient color, and when you select gradient, you can change the colors. Isn't that pretty? So you can have a gradient of different colors for your solid feel. All right. All right. So that's how you can do hatch. All right, I'm gonna undo this. All right, so we've done line today, we've done polyline, we've done circle, we haven't done arc yet. I'm getting ready to show you arc. Arc has a lot of components to it. We've done rectangle, we've done polygon. We haven't done ellipse yet. Mr. Morris, let's make an ellipse. Okay. Click on ellipse. Down here it says specify the center of the ellipse. Well, click here and I'll say I'll make this. It says specify the endpoint of the axis. Maybe 4. Okay, now I got to go this way. Maybe I make it I don't know, 2 or something. Now this ellipse does have a center. Now if I draw a line, this is a construction line. Mr. Morris doesn't know how to draw an eye, but if I go to circle, actually what I want to do here, here's what I want to do. I'm going to show you how to do the 2-point circle. I drew this construction line. I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to bring it back. I drew a construction line from the center like this. Now, if you click on that line, just click on it. You see these little grips that appear. I can click on that grip and stretch that line. Click, enter. Now I'm going to trim it. See the scissors? Trim this overhang, trim this over. I did that because I want to find my center here for a 2-point circle. I haven't shown you 2-point. Go to 2-point, click here, and click here. One more time. I got a point here and a point here established by the intersections. So I'm going to go to circle, circle 2-point, click here and click here. All right. I'm going to go back to hatch again now. Someone's got some sort of eye problem here with this one, don't we? Hope you don't have this issue. I'm going to go to hatch. I'm not quite sure why that's doing that, but let's go to so I was trying to make an eye, but I'm not an artist. So if any of you folks are artists in here, you can play with this and do some really, actually, pretty neat stuff with it, actually, if you have the patience to do it. All right. I haven't shown you how to dimension something yet, so we'll come back to that. I was just going to, there's bukus of things to do here, right? I mean, with the hatch. So you can play with it. I'm going to erase all. I'm going to show you how to dimension something now, which is very important because your drawing means nothing unless you can dimension it. Your drawing means absolutely nothing unless you can dimension your part. So I'm going to go to rectangle here. Look, I'm going to go to rectangle. Look here. Rectangle. And I'm going to click here and I'm going to make it, I don't know, 6, tab, 4, enter. I'm going to do a right click. Well, just hit the escape. Just hit the escape. All right, now we have this rectangle here. I can pan, I can zoom in and out. Let's say we want to dimension this. All right, right here is dimension, but also we have a linear dimension here. We have linear, align, angular, arc length, radius. We're going to use this one right now today. Click on linear and watch. I want to click here and click here. Now, there's some things I might want to change about this dimension. Actually, it looks pretty good, except Maybe I want to make this gap a little bit bigger. Maybe make the text a little smaller, the arrows a little smaller. Maybe I don't want so many decimal places. Okay, I'm going to leave this dimension here for reference so you'll see. I'm going to put one more dimension here. Like here. It's not hard to dimension something. And by the way, I'm hitting the escape button if you're wondering what I'm doing. I put the dimension there. I don't want that many decimal places. By the way, the more decimal places you have on a drawing, the more expensive it's going to cost to make it. The more decimal places, the more expensive it's going to be. Okay, Mr. Morris, how do we change the number of decimal places? How do we tweak the arrow size? Maybe we want to make it bigger or smaller. I'm going to show you how to do it. And I left these here for a comparison. I'm going to put a dimension up here and one over here so you can compare. So type in DDIM. Type in DDIM, enter. Okay. And we're going to go to modify. And we're going to go to symbols and arrows. Go to symbols and arrows. And you have different styles of arrows too. We're not going to mess with these today because there's different styles. Right now, the default is closed field arrow. But if you arrow down, you see there's quite a bit of other choices. Arrow size. Let's say we don't want the arrow size to be that. Well, let's say we'll make it bigger. Let's make it, if you click inside that box and hit the backspace, type in 0.25. Say okay. Now watch. Set current. Close. Did you see the arrows change size? You probably look. If I hit undo, watch. Undo. Hit the redo. Watch the arrows change size. We just changed the arrow size. Okay. Now there's another way to change arrow size. You can type in the command DIMASZ and enter. And it says, well, your dimension size, your dimension arrow size is 0.18. Let's say we want to make it 0.125. Enter. Now, these arrows here did not change, but I'm going to add a dimension here and you will see that it changed. Look at this arrow size. Look at this. Now, the text is still the same. If you want to change the height of the text, type in DIMTXT. That is the height of the text. Enter. Currently is 0.18. Let's make it 0.125. Enter. Now you didn't see these change, but we can come over here and we can put in the dimension here to here. And look, the dim text is changed. It's not the same size as before. Not the same size. Okay. All right. Now what I want to do is show you how to change the number of decimal places, okay? Go to, before we do that, you see that gap here? See that gap right there? And there's this is called the dimension extension. So if you go to DDIM, modify, if you want to go to text or symbols and arrows, there is right here the this is that little break you see here, the gap here. All right, so what I'm going to do is, I wanted to show you how to change the number of decimal places first. Type in DDIM, go to modify, and we want to go to text. And actually, what we want to do is, go to primary units. Go to primary units. See where it says precision, decimal. We want to change that to like, let's say 1 decimal place. Say okay, set current, close. Now, watch. I'm going to add a dimension, watch. See the comparison? 1 decimal place. I even changed the dim height. Okay, now I'm going to get back to this gap you see here. You see that gap? I'm going to erase this one. And I'm going to show you how to adjust that gap. Because sometimes it's hard to tell where the dimension begins. Where the object line ends and where the dimension line begins. See, this is an object line. It represents the object. And this is the extension line, which is part of the dimensioning process. Sometimes it's hard to distinguish where the object line begins or ends and where the extension line begins, or vice versa. So we want to change that gap. So if you type in DIMEXO, DIMEXO, that stands for dimension extension offset. Dimension extension offset. Now, remember Mr. Morris learned how to type commands 100 years ago. I'm going to enter this. It says it's 0.0625. It's a 1/16 of an inch is the default. Well, I'm going to change it now. Look, I'm going to change it to 0.125 just to show you the difference. Enter. I'm going to put a dimension in here. I'm going to zoom in here. Look, you see that dimension extension offset? See the difference compared to this here? So now it's really clear what line is part of this. It's real clear what line is the extension line and what line is the object line. Okay. So the ones you need to know, I'm going to use the text buttons. We haven't learned how to create text yet. I'm going to click on text and I'm going to do multi-line text. And I'm going to click here. And I'm going to type in the commands, DIMASZ, changes the arrow size, DIMTXT, changes the text size, DIMEXE, changes the extension line, extension. I didn't show you that one yet. And then DIMEXO changes the extension line offset gap. Hit enter and then click anywhere on this. So I put some text here. You can play with the text. It's just like typing text anywhere else. But one thing about, I do want to tell you this. I have lowercase letters there, but you don't use lowercase letters all on a drawing. They're always uppercase letters. Okay, all your letters on a drawing, uppercase. I did this because I was creating some definitions here, kind of like writing notes. All right, so dim arrow size, that changes, look, the size of the arrows here. Dim text, that changes the size of the text. It changes the extension. Okay, look here, we didn't do this one. You see the distance from the arrow to this point here? See that distance right there? And same thing over here from the arrow to the end of the line. What if you want to shorten that up some? All right, I'm going to erase this dimension so you can do a comparison. Type in DIMEXO EXE. Right now it's 0.18. 0.18. Let's make it 0.125. Enter. Now watch when I add a dimension. Now it's going to be hard to see, but look at this distance from here to here. And then from here to here. Okay? So notice the difference, all right? Hang on just 1 second. There's some bad news. Y'all be careful out there. People are crazy these days. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just got a bad text. All right. So we were talking about the extension. It's the distance from the arrow to the end of this line. We just changed it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is a little bit longer than that is. So you can adjust the dimension. They're called the dimension variables. They're called it. Now you can do all of this if you go to DDIM. If you type in DDIM, you can go in there and do all of this. And you go to modify. And you can change lines. You can change symbols and arrows. You can change text size. You can do fit, which I hardly ever use. Primary fits, alternate units. Let's say you want to go, instead of inches, you want to use the metric system. Tolerances, we'll get to that a little bit later. But this is very useful information. And this is to scale. You can always come up here and measure, like we said earlier. If you want to measure a line, if you want to measure the radius or the angle. Oh, by the way, if you want to put an angular dimension here, look, go up here, arrow down right here, and go to angular. And I'm going to put a look, an angular dimension between these two lines. Is that 90 degrees? So you can put angular dimensions in there. I'll show you these later. Let me draw a circle real quick. I'm just going to draw a circle real quick so I can show you that you can also dimension the diameter. By the way, you're not supposed to put your dimensions on the part itself, so it's best to take the dimensions off, but you also don't like to cross over dimension lines. So there's an art in doing this. I'll get to that more later. Right now, I'm just going to leave it on the part. That little symbol that you see right here, that little symbol right there means diameter, okay? Now, if you want to do a radius, I'll put that here so you can see the difference, okay? So the diameter is 1.4, the radius is 0.7. All right, I'm going to show you one other thing today. I'll show you more tomorrow, but not tomorrow, but on Thursday with this. You will get a participation grade today if you're here in attendance. I'll take attendance in just a minute. But also, I will work with layers a little bit later. But I want to show you how you can change some of the properties of these lines. If I type in the command change, enter, and then select what I want to change. Let's say I want to change the circle. Enter. And then type down here, it says properties. So select properties. And I want to change the color. And let's say I want to make the circle red. Type in red, enter, enter. Circle's red. If I type in the word blue, change again and select this, enter. I can type in P for properties, enter, I can type in C for color, enter. I can type in the word blue, enter, enter again, okay? So lots of things you can change. I'm just going to show you those today. You can change the color of these. Well, let me do one more. Change, enter. I'm going to change this one here again. Enter. P for property. Let's do line weight. And enter a new line weight. Hang on just a second. I don't want to do it by layer. Let me do this. Type in list. Type in the word list, enter. And I'm gonna click on this line, enter, and it gives me all the information about that line. What layer it's on, the model space, the line type is by layer, the constant width, area, perimeter. Well, let me do this one. Change. I want to change this. Enter. And I'm going to type in P for property. I'm going to select line type. And I'm going to type in hidden just to show you, or I can type in dashed. See, it's a dashed line, right? Dash. If I, by the way, you can type in the letter U for undo and enter. It's the same thing. You might have to do it twice. Type in U, enter. That will undo your last command. If I type in change now, click on this line, enter, and type in the word hidden. Oops, Mr. Morris, get ahead of myself. Change, type in the word change, enter, select the object we want to change, enter, type in P for property, select line type, and this time I'm going to select fence line. It didn't change, did it? Change. I don't know if you just saw what I did. Hang on. You can also come up here to change your properties as well. I was doing it manually, but look, you can come up here. You can click on this line. You can click on this line right here. Come up here, and you can change the thickness. Look, see how the line, enter again. I don't know if it stayed. All right. I think Mr. Morris is getting tired. I'm going to stop this video for today. We're going to make, this is going to be AutoCAD practice 1. We're going to do some more AutoCAD, obviously. This was just practice today to get you start working with it. There's much, much more we have to work with. Okay, so let me stop the video. Stop the share. And I bid you farewell till next time. So I'm going to stop the recording.